y'all know what time it is. We're still pretty far behind, so we got a lot to catch up on. And unfortunately, you know, as of recent events, we might be losing TikTok. So let's get all the TikToks in while we still can. I know it's a long way away, I'm meaning, but still, it's sad. Anyways, let's pick back up. Episode 234. Let's go.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these copper-colored armor and weapon dice that were sent in by a viewer. Thanks. Let's get it started with our roll for bread. 6, sourdough. Sourdough is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's delicious, and on the other hand, it's got a lot of room for bad toppings. Next up, let's roll for main. 5, tuna. Well, tuna's...
Chat, give me a 1 in chat if you actually like tuna. Give me a 2 if you don't like tuna at all. Give me a 3 if you just, like, don't care. That's way too many ones for my liking.
Alright, I guess. If I was going to have to go with any fish, tuna is probably the best for me personally, although I prefer it fresh to canned whenever possible. But that's alright, we soldier onward. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 1, Limburger. This smelly cheese is named...
Dude, get rid of the stinky feet cheese, dude. Please.
The Belgian province of Limburg, not the Dutch one. Though there, they would probably refer to this cheese as Hervé, and not usually find it.
Dude, that's so much.
This cheese is salty and creamy with a pungent aroma of feet. Yep. Next up, let's roll for roughage. 7 pickled scallions and 10 pepperoncini. I picked up these pickled scallions at an Asian grocery store. They're not dill pickled like you'd think of cucumbers, but have a more sweet vinegary flavor. They are a separate but closely related species of onion to what we would normally call scallions here in the States, and have a fresh, mild flavor, often served as a side dish with more intense flavored foods. I actually think this will pair pretty good with the fish, and maybe it'll help to balance the salty cheese. With the pepperoncini, we'll bring in a little splash of acid and a bit of spice. I think both will be welcome additions here. It should make a pretty good combination of roughage for this sandwich. And when you start with tuna and feet cheese,
I think pepperoncini is probably underrated. I never think about it, but it's good.
All right, next up, let's hit it with some wild magic. 3.
I had tinned oysters, which is a thing I see on shelves a lot that I've never... That sounds so gross.
Well, I guess that remains to be seen. Or, well, tasted. I have not had good luck with other tinned seafood in the past.
No, dude. Listen, man. Hey, they're probably friends, so I don't like shit-talking people's friends. But this collab has done irreparable damage to this poor man's bowel intracts or digestional system. Good lord, they did not help you in any way, shape, or form. That was mean. This whole thing has been evil.
Past. I've had both sardines and squid.
I don't even know if there was any of them that were good. They were all terrible.
Not very hopeful. I guess we're adding a little extra juice.
Finally,
I guess I've already got
the juice. Ew.
On here. So, how much more fishy can we get?
Barely think of the 10 months.
Where will we get this wholesome content when
Alright,
TikTok
and last but not least
gone?
is the D20 sauce roll.
I guess we're going to YouTube Shorts.
14, Tabasco. Tabasco is Heckler Hot Sauce's version of...
I thought he was just saying it wrong on purpose for, like, comment bait, but it's actually Tabasco.
Tabasco sauce, and this couldn't be a luckier roll. Tabasco sauce is very often paired with oysters, and its tangy and spicy kick is lauded by many as a perfect accompaniment for oysters. Let's get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together, and let's get it cut in half.
Listen, this is not for me, but this might be decent if you like.
And let's take a look at that
some of
cross-section.
the stuff that's in it.
All right. Well, I think my face says a lot here. Tinned seafood has been the centerpiece of some of the worst sandwiches on the show, in my opinion. So I'm not super looking forward to this.
I just saw the comment over here. Not the fish feet sandwich.
Let's,
oh
yeah,
no, the smell's gotta be terrible.
All right. Here we go. Down the hatch. Let's see how it tastes. Well, right away, texturally, it's not my favorite, but I'm actually quite surprised. The taste is nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. The scallions, peppers, and Tabasco sauce really do a lot. And the Limburger's just adding a little bit of salt. I'm not really tasting cheese funkiness. I wouldn't willingly recreate this sandwich.
It's gotta be like a
I have
3.
to admit, there are things on it that make it work better than it could. So with that, I think I'm gonna give it a 4.3, and I'm gonna call it the Lost Lunch of Atlantis. Thanks for hanging out with me today, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you.
Listen, dude. I'm glad it wasn't as bad, but a 4 just seems a little high for the stinky feet. It's just the fish feet sandwich. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm being a little harsh, but I feel like you know, it's a little smelly.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today's episode of Roll for Sandwich is sponsored
Farming
by Plaid Hat Games. Their new role-playing adventure game, Freelancers, recently came out, and I got a chance to play it over the holiday season. This is a super fun game for 1 to 7 players that lets you take on the role of a gig economy worker trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic fantasy world. This game is essentially GM'd by...
Wait, a gig economy? Wait a minute. Isn't there like an exact anime about this same thing?
An app, and thanks to that app, you can sit down and begin playing.
If
with
there isn't,
no prior
I bet there
experience.
is.
I found it to be a super
Or
fun game with very enjoyable
if I
writing.
haven't seen it,
You
I
can
bet
find
there
more
is.
information about this game via the link on my website. And today we're going to use the dice from Freelancers to roll us up a chaos sandwich.
They finally started the
Let's get it started with our roll for bread.
order.
3, wheat bread. What else can I possibly say about wheat bread at this point? I've already made up fake facts and dunked on a Baldwin brother. Next up, let's roll main. 6, chicken. I've got some sliced deli rotisserie chicken today. It's a good base for a sandwich,
me
if a
some
little
chicken.
boring. Oh, I could have said that about wheat bread. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 3, Colby. Colby, one half of the dynamic duo that is Colby
Wait.
Jack. Let's hope solo it's more Paul Simon.
Wait, you can get just Colby without the Jack? Wait, why are you guys saying futz, please? I thought they were like yin and yang. You need them together, you know? So what does Colby taste like? Can I put it on the list? Chat, dude, I don't know. My world just got flipped upside down. I gotta try that eventually.
4 pickled Brussels sprouts and 11 none. When I was a kid, Brussels sprouts
Not
seemed to
my
be the butt
people.
of every bad vegetable joke. And now you see them everywhere
Thanks, chicken, for the 3
in
donut.
fancy bistros and stuff. I've learned recently that they actually taste better now. Like, they use selective breeding to make them taste better than they used to. So,
Wait, what?
4 pickled Brussels sprouts and 11 none. When I was a kid, Brussels sprouts seemed to be the butt of every bad vegetable joke. And now you see them everywhere in fancy bistros and stuff. I've learned recently that they actually taste better now. Like, they used selective breeding to make them taste better than they used to. So, good for you, Brussels sprouts. Congrats on the glow up. Hopefully
We can do that?
you taste good pickled. All right, next up, we're going to hit it with a little wild magic. 14, chia seeds.
Chia pet.
Why don't we do that for shit? Like, why don't we make like f***ing carrots taste like Doritos, dude? Why not? Like, you know what I mean? Instead of walking around with someone with a bag of Doritos, you walk around with a thing of carrots, tastes the same. That's too far. Oh, well, we haven't advanced enough then. We need more technology advancements.
Yes, those chia seeds, though
We
I
need more
wouldn't
tech.
suggest eating the ones that come in those sets. Speaking of glow-ups, these went from a novelty arts and crafts project to a healthy living staple. They won't do a lot for our sandwich taste-wise, but they're a little crunchy and they kind of
I love
congeal
how we were
when they
watching
get wet, so...
1990s
might
and
not be
early
that
2000s commercials.
All
and
right,
we see
last but
chia
not least, we've
pets
got the
up
D20
here.
sauce roll. Here we go. 18, horseradish mustard. All right, this should be a fine addition to this sandwich. It'll add a little bit more interesting flavor to the mix. I think this one's really going to come down to
Actually
the
doesn't
taste
look
test
that
to
bad.
see if the whole is better than the sum of its parts. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here.
This one actually doesn't look bad at all.
Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's go ahead and get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross section. All right. Pretty basic today, not too off the wall.
Yeah, this looks like a
Never had
solid
Brussels sprouts and chia seeds
8.5.
on a sandwich, but we'll see how it goes. Let's give it a taste. It's not bad. You've got a little bit of redundancy in flavors between the pickled Brussels sprouts and the horseradish mustard. The Colby is nice, but doesn't contribute in a big way. Same with the chicken. It's just kind of a blank canvas.
Wahoo 10
And the
months.
chia seeds
Double
kind of clump together and
exclamation
bring
mark.
down
Double
the
exclamation mark.
textural
Double
experience.
exclamation mark.
Definitely think those pickled
Thanks so
Brussels
much.
sprouts would be
Appreciate it.
much better as a side, or maybe even mashed into a paste before being put on the sandwich. This sandwich is the definition of fine. It's fine.
7?
They can't all be winners, and I'm glad that they're not all disasters. But this one's going to get a 4.9 from me today. And I'm going to call it.
Brother, your scale has got broken. I'm convinced. That's not what fine means. The feet sandwich was like a 4.2, and that was fine and got a 4.9? How is that possible?
Call it middle of the crossroads. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you again on Friday.
Like, dude, I'm concerned. I'm concerned at this point.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome
weird.
to
It was
Roll
like
for
skip to
Sandwich,
the
the
end.
series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these pink dice with little flowers in them that were sent
those
in
are
by a
cute.
viewer. Thanks.
Those are
Let's
actually
get
really
things
nice.
started with our roll for bread. 5 spinach and feta bread. I'm a bit torn on this bread. It is delicious, but as you can see, it has a little bit of a green cast to it and little white specks that kind of look like mold, which is feta cheese. So it just kind of looks awkward.
It both looks awesome and terrible at the same time. I don't know how to describe it, but I completely agree with what you just said.
Next up, let's roll for Maine. 7 corned beef. Corned beef is salt brine cured beef brisket, so named
I
for
don't
the
have
large
corned
chunks
beef
of
as
salt
much as
or
I should.
salt
I feel
corn
like I should get
that
corned
are
beef
used
more
in the
often.
process. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 6 saffron golden fleece. Golden fleece is a manchego style cheese that contains delicate threads of saffron. Though not many, mind you, because saffron is the world's most expensive spice, because it consists of only the stigmas of the autumn crocus flower. So it requires a ton of resources and work to produce such a small amount. I gave this cheese a try, and it tastes good. I have no idea if I can taste the saffron, though. All right.
Dude, he's so smart. He knows everything. I swear to God. I learned so much from these. Like,
All right, next up, let's roll roughage.
I feel like I just get flexed
3
on every
watermelon
single time.
radish and 6 green pepper. This is a watermelon radish. It looks very pretty when you cut into it. It has that same kind of piquant spice that radishes have, but a little less so, and kind of more sweet. These will be a nice addition. I've sliced them nice and thin.
You know,
They'll give us a little
I
crunch and some
normally
interesting
wouldn't
flavor.
like that, I
And we
don't
will
think, but that
contrast
looks
that
pretty
with
good.
the more bitter flavor of the green pepper, though it too will add some nice crunch. And I have to say, A+ so far for the
Low-key?
visuals, other than the bread.
Looks
All
pretty
right, time
good.
to add some wild magic. That's a 16. 16 we've got sesame seeds. How that's funny. I got chia seeds on Wednesday, and now I've got sesame seeds today. I guess eating seeds is my new pastime activity. All right, and last but not least, we've got the D20 sauce roll. Here
Not
we go.
everything can be perfect.
17 Windy City sauce. Windy City sauce is all of the traditional toppings of a Chicago-style hot dog, pureed into
Yellow mustard, white onion, sweet pickle relish, dill pickle, tomato, pickled sport peppers, and celery salt.
a sauce. Personally, I love
I'd try
Chicago-style hot dogs, so that's a win. And I think all the flavors involved in that sauce should go great with the corned beef. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here.
I'm not a big onion guy,
Get
but
our
I try it.
toothpicks in to hold it together, and let's get it cut in half.
I feel like I don't mind onion in like sauces. I don't like chunks
And let's
of
take a
onion.
look at that cross-section. That's a pretty good looking cross-section. While after a disaster Monday and a middle-of-the-road sandwich on Wednesday, I'm feeling pretty good about this one for Friday. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, that's pretty good. I was right about the sauce going with the corned beef well. That cheese is tasty, but I
Always
don't
love
think I
roll for
taste saffron.
sandwich.
Probably could have bought a cheaper
True.
cheese.
Maybe they'll have nuts.
I'm not getting a ton of the spinach and feta from the bread either. It's pretty subtle. The roughage is nice.
Looks pretty
This
good.
is pretty tasty. I don't know if it's a home run, but it's at least a double or a triple, and I'm not mad about that.
7.5, 7.8.
Also, I totally summoned that Windy City sauce by wearing my hot dog hat today. All in all, not a bad way to close out
Hot
the
dog
week.
hat
Even
is
got a
great.
snow day today.
That's awesome.
I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one an 8.8. And I'm going to call
All right,
it
that's
the
fair.
Third Coast Argonaut. Thanks for
fair.
joining me once again, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend.
That
and
actually
I'll
did look
see you
really
on
good.
Monday.
I give him that.